Hello guys, how you doing? This is another Beatles fan, and we're here with the My Let It Be Disney Plus release movie review and Disney Plus new release review, whatever. Um, this is my comment on the Disney Plus release and on the movie in itself because it's been a long time since I've watched it, and I hadn't watched it after Get Back came out. So of course I'm gonna compare the two of them, and I'm sorry because there's some noise here. I can't do anything about it really. Um, let's talk about the Disney Plus release in itself, right? It's a re-release that hasn't happened for 50 years, so there was a ton of hype on the Beatles camp and the Beatles community, and I do believe that it came out really great. It came out looking different from Get Back. It has a darker filter to it. It feels more vintage because it's got more film grain, which is something that some of the Beatles fans don't like about Get Back. That they kind of remove the grain. They kind of try to make the the movie feel more modern, and looking at both projects now, I understand its choice. Peter Jackson wanted to make Get Back stand up for itself and for it to have a different aesthetic, right? As far as it's possible, because of course they're the same footage, right? But I do think that it looks great. It sounds great, and if you love the Beatles and you haven't watched Let It Be, or if you're a big fan of Get Back, you should check it out. And on the movie itself, now looking back at it, it's history kind of has come down to agree that it's a dark and dramatic and depressing movie, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's funny and it shows. Of course, it's only an hour and a half, so I can't compare it to Get Back, but I think it shows a lot of the Beatles' personalities and their humor and their interactions and how their relationship with each other um, are really. They do Michael Lindsay Hogg, which is the director, really shows that well on the movie. But of course, the biggest thing I that came of the movie, in my opinion, is the music in itself, because it's got a lot of complete takes of songs, and it makes it feel more like a compilation of the Beatles, and less of a narrative, because we definitely can see and understand Get Back's narrative, right? It's a narrative of a band trying to find itself, and George quits, so everything goes to hell, but they can fix it, and it kind of gets better at the end, and they end up doing the rooftop concert, which is the big climax, right? And it's so well told, that story. It's, but I don't feel like Michael Lindsay Hogg had really a narrative, a narrative-led direction. I mean, I feel like he tried to show the Beatles, especially as great performers. That's what it and also having fun playing. That's what it feels like to me. And I'm talking about basic feels here. I watched the movie, I had lunch, and I kept thinking about it, and yeah, that's kind of my main point here. It's very different from Get Back, even though it's the same scenes. But there's another thing that I want to mention, is that I feel like, because of course the Beatles started the project on Twickenham Studios, then George quit, and George wanted to move to the newly built Apple Studios. on Savile Row. So, and of course, we get this entire chronological story on Get Back, but here we don't. We get the days are kind of mixed. We can see that their clothes change all the time, but there's clearly also a separation between Twickenham and Apple stuff. And I feel, again, this is only a gut feeling. I haven't checked exactly how many minutes there was for each Beatle, but I feel like, especially on Twickenham, there's a lot of Paul in it, and I don't remember if there was any major problems with it. I mean, I think John would be pissed, right, if Paul appears too much, and he and Yoko didn't, which I think is the case. Of course, there's more Paul songs. Paul was the leader of the band at that time, and he had a ton of songs, but it came across as if Paul was doing all the work. And I think it's because only at the end of the Twickenham part, which is kind of like the first 35 minutes of the movie, it's only at the very end of this segment where they show him playing Dig a Pony and I Me Mine, and then on Twickenham they play For You Blue, but it came across as if Michael Lindsay Hogg likes Paul the most. And again, it could be because he does, it could be because Paul was the leader, and it could be because he had more songs to offer. You know, it could be a mix of the three of them, and I do think it's a mix of the three of these scenarios, right? What do you guys think about it? Do you like Let It Be? Do you love it now? I feel like, again, it doesn't have that depressing tone that we kind of all tended to think about when we think about Let It Be. So I really want to know your opinion. Please give you guys my opinion about it. Again, sorry for the noise. It's really annoying. And yeah, tell me what you think about it. See you later, guys. This is another Beatles fan.